Welcome to Trimester 2. I have officially done it. I have gotten past the nausea and the exhaustion of Trimester 1. It was way more difficult than I expected it to be, and I'm so grateful that slowly my energy levels are coming back, my motivation, my positivity. I've always been positive throughout it all, but I really didn't feel like myself in Trimester 1. There was a lot that I felt I couldn't do, and then there was a guilt associated with that of like what I should be doing versus what I could. And I'm just glad not to be bound to my bed or the couch anymore, because I was getting so bored and I just needed to tackle projects, get into the garden, walk, move my body, and I'm really glad that right now, at 14 weeks pregnant, I feel like I can do all the things that I would normally be doing. The last few days especially have been amazing. Week 13 was a little bit rougher. I had a lot of headaches. I had a few days where I got quite exhausted. And I had a few days where I'm still like gagging from brushing my teeth and then throwing up, so that hasn't been fun. But as far as week 14 goes, I'm now 14 and 2 days or 3 days. It's been going really well so far. I told myself that once I got into my second trimester, I would start to move my body more and to start to kind of exercise and stretch on a regular basis, just to make sure that baby is as healthy and fit as they can be. I'm not doing any like strenuous exercises that are like raising my heart rate to something crazy or like moving in a way that's not comfortable. I'm really moderating what I do, and just encouraging my body to move and to stretch and to be flexible and strong throughout this process, because there's a lot of changes already happening and they're just going to expand in this next 3 months. So I'm excited for trimester 2. I'm also very nervous and scared of just how much it's going to alter my body, but so far it's been all fine. So the exercise routine that I'm doing is Sarah's Day Bump and Body. And it starts at 13 weeks and goes all the way to 40 weeks. It kind of mixes a range of different types of exercises, like just mobility and moving your body through stretching, as well as strength exercises, cardio exercises, Pilates-based exercises, and just like encouraging you to move your body through walking or swimming or whatever activity you want. So I've really been enjoying it so far. Sam has joined me for it as well, so that he can work on his fitness and also just be there to encourage me to continue doing it regularly. It's more fun doing things together, and he's been so on board doing so much together and just being a part of it as much as he can. And I absolutely love that about him and his enthusiasm. So yeah, so far we are off to a good start. Headaches have kind of subsided. I do still have like a lingering headache if I do a bit too much, but I'm able to do so much more now. Like yesterday I painted, I cleaned, I did a bunch of washing, I did some gardening, I did some cooking. Like, being able to do all those things in one day is incredible, because in the first trimester I really could only do one thing and then I'd be knocked out for the rest of the day. So grateful that everything is starting smoothly. Oh, and one more update. We had the nuclear translucency testing done between 12 and 13 weeks, and we've come back a really low risk for that. So really relieved and excited that everything's going well, that baby's developing as they should. Good morning. I am currently 15 weeks and 6 days, so not far off from 16 weeks. So I thought now would be a great time to give you guys a bit of an update on how the 15th week has gone. This has been a super exciting week in general, because we got to meet our midwife, and I'll talk about that in just a moment. But I kind of wanted to cover some of the food cravings, some of the feelings, and some of the things that I've been doing in pregnancy so far, just to make the process, I guess, as easy as possible and as good as possible. So I think I mentioned in the first trimester that I've been having a lot of cravings for vegetables and fruits especially. And I think our house has never been so full of fruit because it just seems to be something that's really easy to put into smoothies or to have just on its own. For the beginning of the first trimester, I was smashing down smoothies. I really enjoyed doing the green smoothie that I've shared with you guys before, just doing like banana, strawberry and ginger with yogurt, and just doing like whatever fruit and veg combination I could. That kind of pitted off towards like the end of the first trimester when the nausea got really bad, and I seemed to prefer to just have the whole fruit instead of having the smoothies and all the liquid. And now that I'm in my second trimester, that craving for fresh juice and fresh smoothies is kind of coming back, and I'm trying to like have as many smoothies as I can. The other thing that has been a huge craving for me has been cucumbers. Pickled or just fresh cucumbers. Like I could literally eat a whole cucumber and be completely satisfied. So a lot of mornings when I wasn't feeling great or I would need to eat straight away, I wouldn't have a lot of motivation to cook things towards like the end of the first trimester. So I would have a lot of like nibbly platters where I would have some dip, crackers, veggie sticks like carrots and cucumber, olives, tomatoes, like whatever I could kind of chuck on the plate, that's what I would nibble on. And I also had a huge craving for cheese. I'm not normally someone that would have like blocks of cheese as a snack, but I was craving those like stringy mozzarella cheeses. They were fun. And then I found out that in Australia, feta cheese is pasteurized, which means that you can actually consume it in your pregnancy. So I was having a little bit of that. I'm still avoiding goat's cheese because it's a little unknown if that is pasteurized or not. So I'm just staying clear in case. And yeah, that's pretty much been like the bulk of the cravings. So most of my cravings have been more of like a savory one than a sweet one, but every now and again, like, you know, I'd want some brownies or some sticky date pudding, and it's very convenient at the moment because the pub just down the road from us literally does desserts, and so Sam can just pick it up and bring it over. And I am noticing now that I'm in the second trimester, I am starting to crave a little bit more sweet stuff. But I think that might be a lack of protein. They usually say when you're craving sweet, then you need more protein. And I have noticed that I'm not eating protein as much. So now that my aversion to eggs has kind of minimized, and bacon as well, I can start incorporating those into my breakfasts again, which is making things a lot easier. My desire to cook is also coming back, which means I'm actually contributing to dinners and lunches and making food that is way healthier than just like a nibbly platter, and just more convenient because you can freeze it and then have it again. As far as how has everything been going kind of like in my body, I'm finding it harder and harder to sleep as the days go. So I can still kind of sleep on my tummy, but if I've eaten way too much in the day, then it kind of hurts and it's uncomfortable. And I always have to have like a pillow propped up under my head to actually be able to sleep that way. Usually I sleep without a pillow on my tummy, so this has been like a huge change and is actually causing a lot of muscle pain in my neck, and I think is a huge contributor to all those headaches I've been getting. Those have kind of eased off, and when I'm noticing my body getting tense or sore, then I'll just ask Sam to give me a massage, and that really helps. It's also kind of helping us prepare for labour in some way because he's clearly like pressing on knots which are painful and I'm having to breathe through them, so we're taking that as a good sign. But yeah, sleep has been challenging because I'm trying to not sleep on my back, which at times kind of leaves me feeling uncomfortable as well. So I'm just kind of switching from side to side, which is so uncomfortable. It's making my legs go like tingly, it's making my muscles hurt and my hips hurt. So I guess I'll just do some investigating, grab some pillows and adjust how I'm sleeping and see if that helps out. This week I've been trying to get back into editing, creating our videos, uploading, doing all the things for YouTube, and I'm finding that my body, it always kind of did get sore sitting in front of a computer for ages in the past, but it's kind of doing it a little bit sooner. So the way that I'm trying to help with that is just moving frequently, like getting up from my computer if I can, or just taking breaks throughout and just moving my body, stretching if I need to. Sam started doing a fitness routine with me by Sarah's Day, which is body and bump. That's been lots of fun. We're definitely not very consistent with it, but I'm trying to, most of the exercises can be done in like 15 minutes, which is great. So I've just kind of been smashing them out when I have some time. For some reason, cardio seems to keep getting skipped. And then one more update for this week is that we actually got to meet our midwife. We got to see the maternity ward at the hospital, which is kind of separated from the hospital but still part of it. And it was such a vibe, and the midwife made us feel so comfortable, so reassured, and kind of everything that they practice, everything that they try to achieve, as long as your baby and your pregnancy are low risk, then it's very woman-centered, and you do get a lot of preferences, which I was really glad to hear, because that was my biggest concern, is that we would be thrown into a system where we're kind of getting told what to do, told what should or shouldn't happen without much choice. But this maternity ward, it is midwife-led. The obstetricians, I think you only see them once at 36 weeks, and then if there's complications or they need to be around, then you'll see them again. So that's really cool, because the midwives make me feel really comfortable. So as far as the hospital goes, it has fairy lights everywhere. The rooms are private. They have a water immersion area in your birthing suite. So the birthing suite is separate, and then you've got like the private rooms that you labor in or you go into like before and after. As I mentioned, it's very woman-led, which means like if you don't want certain kinds of medication, they respect that unless circumstances change, and then they might offer it to you, or if you change your mind, you still get the choice. They allow movement throughout. They encourage you to kind of be in control and only check up intermittently rather than checking all the time, which those are all like big ticks for me, because my safe place is with my partner, and I think just having too many people constantly there and constantly like checking up on you would be too much. But then again, I don't know what the experience will be like, so I guess we'll just see. But so far, it's ticking all the boxes. I'm hoping to have a low-risk pregnancy and that everything goes on smoothly with no complication, because in our area here, unfortunately, if you are identified as high risk or there are any issues or problems within your pregnancy, then you're actually transported up to Canberra, which from us is like 3 to 4 hours away, which would be a nightmare that close to labour. I think you are kind of like aware of if there's going to be any complications prior to that, because the only other option within the hospital here in Bega is like you can do an epidural or a cesarean, but like those would be like my two last choices. But yeah, I mean, you can't control what's going to happen. You can move throughout your pregnancy, sit correctly, eat the right things, keep active, and hope that things go well and the baby and body know what to do. But at the end of the day, there are things out of your control, and I understand that, and I'm going into it open-minded, calm, stress-free, but knowing all my options and the fact that I have the right to say no and not consent to something that I don't like the sound of, or that I don't want to happen, unless an emergency situation happens, which I'm sure at that point I'll want to follow the lead of the medical staff anyways. So yeah, that's the update for 15 weeks. This was a pretty big update, and now we're just kind of waiting around for the halfway mark for the pregnancy, which is when we're going to have the next ultrasound and when we're going to have the next checkup. And we're also just sitting around waiting to feel baby kick and move inside my tummy. So yeah, just sitting and waiting, poking around in there, trying to see if I can move them. I feel like I felt like a thing or two, maybe like some bubbles running up my tummy, or like almost like a brushing up against me when like I squeeze really hard in a certain spot. Not always the same spot, but yeah, I don't know. I don't think I felt them yet. I am officially 16 weeks and 6 days, so almost 17 weeks at this point. And I guess I have two pretty exciting and not exciting news to share for this week. New obsession, lemon water, very refreshing. But as far as the two things, I guess I'll start with the less exciting part. Stretch marks have definitely hit and are no fun. I remember it back in week 6 or 7, I was like, oh yeah, getting my big boobs back. No, now I am. So that's the first update, and the stretch marks follow. So that's no fun. I'm still applying coconut oil all over, hoping to reduce their impact and to help the stretching of the skin as much as possible. And I think that's what's helping my overall like skin condition, which is pretty good for the most part. The other good news, or the other exciting news, is that literally that last time that I updated you guys and I was almost 16 weeks, the day I hit 16 weeks, the baby started moving. We were driving in the car, and I literally felt like 5, almost like, the best way that I can describe it is like a guitar twang. Like it almost felt like a really quick muscle spasm, and like almost like in a jab kind of feeling, right? So I got 5 on one side, and then 1 here, 1 there, right after the other, and then 3 more that were more like spaced apart, and it just felt significantly different from anything that I felt before. I've also been feeling that again like over the last few days, so each day there'll be maybe a moment or two where it happens. Mostly it happens after we swim, or if I'm sitting in a car, but honestly it kind of happens at random points at any time. So that's been lots of fun and really cool. And I'm kind of taking it like the baby trying to communicate something, though I'm sure they're just getting comfy in the womb. Yeah, that's week 16's short and sweet update. Update. She's poppin'. It is week 17 and I want to keep this short and sweet, just like this little boy behind me. Hi. This week I haven't had too many symptoms. Baby's kind of continued kicking, though because my energy's been back and I've been doing a lot more, I'm noticing it only at certain points when I'm sitting or not doing too much. This week I have definitely found it hard to sleep. On my stomach, on my back has been really uncomfortable, and then because I'm sleeping on my side so often, it's making my hips hurt, it's giving me leg cramps, it's just not comfortable. So I've been trying to put like the pillows that we have between my knees to imitate like a pregnancy pillow, and it works when Sam's not here and I can use his pillow, but the other pillows that we have are a little bit too big, so that hasn't been too comfy. I'm just really not wanting to get a pregnancy pillow just yet. They just seem so large and cumbersome and almost like single use. So yeah, and that's the update for week 17. So 18 weeks absolutely flew by and 19 weeks flew by too, and now I'm technically 20 weeks, but I'm going to fill you in on what's been going on because I'm actually unsure if I'm 20 weeks right now. So let's go back first to 19 weeks and 18 weeks. I didn't have a lot of symptoms. I've actually been feeling amazing. I'm getting a lot done. I have a lot more energy. Of course, I do get very puffed out walking up hills or just walking anywhere in general. And as far as my mood and my emotions, I have felt a lot more sensitive and emotional this last week especially. I just find myself wanting to tear up and cry when I tell someone I love them, or like I show some appreciation for someone, or I'm just sitting in a space or watching a movie and then something sad happens. Like, I just feel very emotional and on edge constantly. So my hormones are definitely playing with my feelings and my emotions at the moment, which is always fun. Baby has continued to move around in my tummy and is actually moving so much at the moment. 4 a.m. I get woken up to some kicks, and then anytime I go to bed or wake up, that's normally a time to kick as well. Whenever we've gone swimming after it, baby will kick, and eating as well. So those seem to be activities they really enjoy. Now, we've actually just had our 20-week anomaly scan, which is where they just go through all of the body parts, make sure everything's looking normal, everything's growing the way that it should. We got to see our baby kicking around and they were so bloody active. Like, literally, I have a video and I'll pop it up, but I have a video of the baby just like legs up, kicking my uterus around, like no care, no concern about the feeling of it. We also had a video of them like drinking, which was really cool. For a lot of it, the sonographer was trying to get like shots of the mouth and what that's all looking like, and the baby had like a mouthful of liquid, and she's like, "Come on baby, swallow." I'm like, they'll fit right in, we love food just as much. So we actually, at that appointment, we also got an envelope with our baby's gender, and we dropped that off yesterday at our cake maker, and today's the day that we actually find out if it's going to be a boy or a girl, and we are both so nervous and so excited, but so keen to finally know and just create that connection with our baby even further. Now, as I just started saying, technically I'm supposed to be 20 weeks, but at the scan, the sonographer was saying that the baby was actually measuring perfectly for 22 weeks. So we think maybe something's going on with my dating scan. There was a week where they pushed me back, and then a week where they pushed me back forward. So technically baby is not a bigger baby, they're just measuring right for 22 weeks. So we have a feeling that the dates got messed up and that they're going to have to reassign my due date or just adjust it, because 2 weeks is a big difference. I mean, 2 weeks can be the difference between like a baby being classified as premature and actually being perfectly fine to come out. 2 weeks is also the difference between actually being overdue and coming on time. So yeah, I hope they adjust that at our midwife appointment this Friday. We actually have so many baby appointments coming up at the moment. We've been given so many baby things at the moment. It's been a real privilege. And yeah, the craziest thing about being 22 weeks technically now is that I'm literally like a month away from being in the third and final trimester of this pregnancy, which is absolutely insane. I feel like the time has flown. It's slowed down in certain points, but for the most part, like, whew, we're flying. This week I am 23 weeks. Officially, the due date has been changed so that we don't have like this miscommunication every time we have an ultrasound. This week has been beautiful. I am absolutely loving watching my body growing. I feel like my belly looks really cute. My belly button is officially popping out, which at first was really like unnerving and surreal, but now I think it's really cute. Baby has continued to kick. It's so beautiful because she's starting to kick at certain times that are becoming predictable. It's just so cool. I feel so connected to her every time I feel her. And when the midwife actually feels my tummy to try figure out where she's sitting as well, she can really tell where the kicks are. And this last appointment that we had with her, she definitely felt her kick. So it's just so cool. Like, it makes the experience so connected and real, and I'm so proud of my body. I'm so proud of my baby. I'm so proud of myself. I'm really enjoying the journey so far. As far as things that we're thinking about at the moment, so we've just recently had our 24-week appointment just a few days earlier. And during that appointment, we just talked a little bit more about what a low-lying placenta means, and how it moves away from the cervix as the uterus grows, because that is kind of the position that we are in. And it created a bit of stress and uncertainty in my mind of what that would mean for my birth. But the midwife is so reassuring. Sam is so good at asking questions and being supportive and listening, and she's so well informed, she's so caring, and she makes sure that we know everything we need to know without the fear of the unknown unless we need to know it. Today I am 24 weeks and 3 days. This week is going really quickly, but I'm noticing that I am getting really emotional and overwhelmed, and it feels like every day I'm climbing a mountain. I'm even emotional saying it now, but I guess I'm just kind of struggling this week with the fact that I feel like I'm not doing anything, and yet I feel like I'm doing everything at the same time, which is not true, but I guess that's just how I'm feeling. I'm feeling like I'm letting small tasks get past me. I'm feeling like I'm forgetting things that I should be able to remember. I'm not realizing or noticing things that I should be noticing. Yeah, this week baby brain is very real and leading to overwhelm and stress where it's just not due. So I know it's all in my head. I know it's all to do with my hormones, and I'm okay, but I've decided today to deep clean the whole bus. I'm making up some dishwashing tablets. I'm like resetting the whole kitchen and giving everything a really deep clean. And I'm also going to get out all of our cold weather things because it is officially autumn time. And we've had a few cold days, so we kind of still need a few warm clothes, but then also cold clothes. So I'm just going to sort that out, get it done. In 2 weeks' time, we head down to Melbourne, which is going to be really exciting because we're going to have our baby shower. I'm going to nest hard and do lots of washing and cooking with my family. And hopefully that'll help this feeling of not doing enough, or this feeling of not being prepared. Because it's been a struggle. It's been a real big struggle this week. So I think that's all I can handle saying without tears. Everything's going really well though. Overall, it is just that mental hurdle that I'm having to get across this week. I am officially at the end of my second trimester at 26 weeks and 3 days. I'm halfway through the last week and I cannot believe I'm about to enter my third and final trimester of this pregnancy. The bump is definitely massive, and I'm so enjoying seeing its growth and feeling baby moving constantly. The last little while, things that have really helped, because I haven't been sleeping well and I've been getting pain in my hips. I went and bought some magnesium oil because I hear that absorbing it through your skin works a lot better than taking it orally. So every single night I've been spraying this mainly on my hips, my calves, my back, and if any other spots hurt then I do those as well. But other than that, like, these last few weeks have been beautiful. They've been really good. I'm noticing because I'm getting bigger, it's getting harder to move and do things. I'm getting out of breath a lot more. So I think the third trimester is definitely going to be an interesting one. We're currently down here at my mum's, visiting family, having our baby shower next week. So I'll share some of that in some separate videos. But yeah. I think third trimester is going to fly, and it's not going to be long before we meet our little girl. I hope you've enjoyed the second episode in this series, and I'll see you guys back from 27 or 28 weeks onwards, and we'll chat through what the trimester's like. Baby girl just kicked. See you guys.